wonderful time of the year. And who better to celebrate it with than good old Art the Clown himself? Welcome. I actually got a chance to see this a little bit earlier, but I've been a little bit slow dropping my review because of other stuff that's been out. And so now I've had a chance to process, and I want to give you my thoughts of the new movie coming out to us soon, Terrifier 3. I had a chance to see this a little bit earlier, and I just wanted to give you guys some of my thoughts. So, Terrifier 3 is written and directed by Damien Leone, starring David Howard Thornton, Lauren Lavera, Samantha Scafidi, and the story follows Sienna Shaw as she attempts to rebuild her life after the tragic events of the first Terrifier movie. And it directly picks up after the shocking post-credit scene in Terrifier 2. So, I'm going to go over the good, the bad, the performances, and things like that, and just give you guys my overall thoughts of everything that happened in this film. But I have to say, Terrifier 3 is one of those movies where I know the biggest question everybody's going to be asking is, are the kills like crazier than the second movie? And I'm here to tell you that the kills are numerous and very creative. There's quite a few scenes that are, let's just say this movie takes place during Christmas. And I'm going to get to the setting and why I get those positives, but the kills are themed to that kind of holiday setting. Now, before I get into all that, I kind of want to get into some of my positives and talk about the people in this movie. Lauren Lavera as Shannon Shaw is really good. But the real standout here is Samantha Scafidini, who played Victoria from the first film. Really stand out in this movie. She didn't have a lot to do in the second movie, and everybody saw the first movie, and you kind of know the story there. This film, she's a lot more involved in the overall plot of the movie. Of course, the person who plays Sienna, Lauren Lavera, just knocks it out of the park. So in this movie, you have Sienna and her brother dealing with the events from Terrifier 2. And this story is kind of a dual story of her dealing with a little bit of PTSD, survivor's guilt, all that stuff. Like if you were chased by Jason or Michael Myers or Art the Clown, what does that look like after you've survived something traumatic like that? And trying to rebuild her life after all of her friends, her mother, and pretty much a good majority of that town got brutally murdered. Hey, yeah, I am yapping about the brand new Terrifier 3. So strap in. This is non-spoiler. I'm not going to give anything away. So, anyways, in this movie, Terrifier 3, the biggest thing that I can say is Sienna's role is expanded. We get a lot more about the lore of Art the Clown. I don't want to say too much, but they do give some answers from things that were left in the second movie. And they also have a lot of good storylines going in here. There's a lot of funny sequences. But the biggest thing is there is this sense this movie kind of starts to really push some lines. So as far as the movies go, this movie to me didn't have as gory of the scenes as Terrifier 2, especially the one scene with the girl in the bedroom. If you guys seen Terrifier 2, you know what I'm talking about. But there is one particular scene in here. Look for it. It's a shower scene. You'll know what I mean when you see the movie. Also, Damien Leon or David Howard Thornton, who plays Art, is just so hilarious in this movie. I think the thing that this movie does really well is take the kind of different styles of Terrifier 1 and Terrifier 2 and blends them really well. There's still some of the mythology that they established in the second film. There's still a lot of the like wacky stuff, but it's also a very mean movie. There is some shit in this movie that is just crazy, crazy stuff. Now, if I'm comparing the two movies, do I say it really goes as far as like the first or the second movie in some of the kills? No. But I think the kills are more consistent and there's never any wasted things. Like most of the people who meet their end, they really do a good job, at least you having some kind of connection to who these characters are. Everybody you get to know eventually sometime. And what could I say? Art's hilarious. There's a scene in the mall. Don't miss it. It is hilarious. I was laughing quite frequently throughout this movie. There's also some parts where Art does some fucked up shit and you do like that nervous chuckle. And I don't mean like the scene is funny, but it's just so uncomfortable that you get like that nervous laugh. Along with some of this cast, Chris Jericho is in here. If you all watch wrestling, he has a bit of a cameo in here. It's super fun. There's a lot of different other people you might recognize. I don't want to say exactly who because I don't want to give anything away. But the basic premise is that it's been 5 years since we've seen Art. Everybody's getting their lives together. And actually during Halloween or during Christmas, Art comes back. And then from there, it becomes a situation of Art and Sienna once again facing off in sort of a battle of the ultimate evil versus the ultimate good. That same old shtick. But I think what makes it interesting to me is that Sienna as a character, and I'm going to talk a lot about her because she's one of the stars of this movie, and I want to say the actress's name because she is so good. Lauren Rivera is truly brilliant in this film. She takes a lot of different Hollywood survivors, scream queens, final girls, whatever you want to call them. She is a lot like Ripley, just a bunch of these characters rolled into one. Sydney Prescott, like any final girl you could really think of. She's kind of a amalgamation of every final girl we've ever got and has some truly standout badass moments. It's very different feel. And that's one thing I appreciate is that her character in this film feels like an evolution of where she was in the second movie. She's much stronger. She is broken at the same time. So there's a vulnerability from the experience that she had in the previous film, but it doesn't feel like when the moment comes that she freezes or hesitates. And I really enjoyed that. What can I say? David Howard Thornton, this man's putting in some work. Art is fucking hilarious in this. Like, dude, some of the shit that happens, and there are particular scenes, I'm not going to lie, if you love animals, probably you're not going to enjoy one part of this. But Art the Clown is fucking crazy. And nobody is safe in this movie. Dogs, cats, kids, old people. So, yeah, this movie is definitely wild when it comes to that. Now, as far as the Christmas theme, the thing that I like about this is growing up when I had Christmases, it felt very different from a kid to being an adult now. And I feel like Christmas movies or the Christmas holiday in general has lost the vibe the overall vibe you get from movies like A Christmas Story or A Christmas Carol, things like that. The aesthetics don't feel the same as they did growing up. Maybe that's just because I'm older or whatever. But this movie transports you to almost the 90s Christmas, like, Christmas carolers, going to the mall to see Santa, all that kind of shit. It gives you a weird sort of nostalgia for how the holiday used to be, people going to the mall and shopping for presents and things like that. There's a lot of things that really, harken back to my days as a youth. And it was a really great throwback, and it kind of got me feeling the Christmas vibes in a very fucked up holiday movie. But the way that they shoot the scenes, this movie has a lot of the shot composition from the first movie, but it also has some of the cleaner shots from the second movie. And by cleaner, I mean they weren't as grungy and dirty as the first film. The first movie is very dirty to me. It's very grimy. And this movie combines both of those kinds of feelings to make one film. This, to me, feels like bridging what Terrifier 1 did and what Terrifier 2 did and making a coherent through line. Both styles work really well in this film. So visually, this movie is very well done. Of course, if you guys know Damien Leone, once again, the practical effects are on full display here. If there is CG, I can't see any of it. This feels like a lot of practical effects were used in this film. None of the blood or nothing like that felt really fake or anything like that. I could pick out CGI blood pretty well, but I could not tell the difference. A lot of the shots and the effects and everything felt 100% practical. And everyone gives a good performance. Now, for my negatives, there are a couple of things that I feel like, not story-wise, but character-wise, I wanted a little bit more. Sienna's brother from the first film doesn't have much of a role, which I was interested in seeing his perspective and how he was dealing with everything that happened. And they don't really get into that. There is an element of the internet brought into this. There's a podcaster in this who does like true crimes kind of stuff. And it serves the purpose, but I don't think they dive really into it as much as I would have liked. It was a very intriguing kind of premise. I feel like they don't really touch on that much. And this movie felt like, at the end, it felt like it cuts off at a point where you do have a very satisfying movie. Questions are answered, the movie ends, but it cuts off to a point where this feels like the middle portion of a trilogy, even though this is the third movie. Like, if Terrifier 1 is like the prologue, this feels like the second part of 3 movies. So you'll understand when you get to the ending of this film. And I'm not saying it ends bad. I'm saying the ending is very cliffhanger. And while you get all the questions answered, you get your big showdowns or whatever, and all of that stuff. And you even get questions answered from the second movie, like, who is Art? What kind of powers does he have? What is the little girl in all of it? Why is Sienna like Art? What's the deal with her father? A lot of that stuff gets answered in this movie, but a whole lot does not get answered in this movie. So they tease a lot while satisfying you with other answers to your questions. They leave a lot dangling. And very clearly, when you see this film and get to the ending, you'll understand what I mean by my conflicted feelings on the ending. Because I wasn't mad at the movie at all. It's a great movie. Everyone should go out and see it. But I had that sense I haven't felt in a very long time. I'm a big fan of like Friday the 13th, obviously Halloween. This felt like one of those fucking cliffhangers at the end of those movies where like Halloween 1, where Michael Myers gets up and Loomis is like, no, no. That's how I felt at the end of this film. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I guess it did its job, but I'm definitely going to tell you right now, Terrifier 4 is going to be coming out. I mean, I'm sure nobody's fucking shocked, but definitely there's going to be a Terrifier 4. I have no doubt. And I think this movie is going to do spectacularly well. Other than that, the Christmas themes, the aesthetics, the acting, I really don't have very many negatives. There's just a few characters I felt like they didn't really serve a purpose. And going along with what I was saying, where the kills feel earned because you know the people, at the same point, in a weird way, some of the people really didn't serve a purpose to the overall story. They're just kind of introduced almost like bodies. It's not as egregious, I feel, as Terrifier 1 or 2, where like nameless people are being offed, but there is some people where I felt like they were interesting and we could have went a little bit more into their story. But other than that, I really don't have many complaints about this movie. It's gory. The other thing I will warn is this movie pushes the lines. Like the first two movies were crossing lines. This thing is like an habitual line crosser to just keep crossing the lines. And I'm starting to wonder where the line is, because after watching this, I don't know. And I don't want it to get to a point where it's gratuitous and violence just for the sake of it. Like, these movies are very clever and they're very funny. So I love these movies. Funny as fuck. There's no other way to blow this formula on a third movie. Do you have the... this movie was very well done. I loved the special effects, and I really enjoyed David Howard Thornton's performance. I really enjoyed Lauren Lavera, and I thought that they brought a good third movie. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I can see these movies going on for a very long time. The story does feel like it is nearing a conclusion, so maybe they go 4 or 5. Like, there's definitely enough to lead into a fourth movie. I don't know if there's enough for a fifth movie, or if this concept is just going to like go the way of Jason and Michael Myers and people are just going to get sick of it. But for now, I can tell you, as a fan of the first two movies, this actually might be my favorite, even more than the first and second movie. There's so many great things, and there's so many things that this movie does better, that I honestly am shocked that this is the third movie and I'm still as invested as the other movies. So, anyways, I give Terrifier 3 a 9 out of 10. I think this is a great movie. Really enjoyed myself. Very funny kills, good humor. But surprisingly, the story is very, very good. Anybody who went to see the first two movies or think that these movies don't have a story, this one leading off of Terrifier 2 and continuing the story that Terrifier 2 set up, it's very interesting. And now it's getting to a point where everything's starting to connect. And I really can't wait for a fourth film. So this is a great movie. When it comes out, I suggest everybody go and see it, support this film. And just to let you guys know, I will be doing a review tomorrow on Agatha All Along, episode 3. And I'm also going to be doing a review on Joker this Thursday. It's actually, funny story, it is my anniversary with Bitchy. So we are going to shoot a short going into the theater and dressed up. If you notice, my face is shaved and I grew out my hair. I'm going to go in the Joker gear and she's going to dress up all sexy. We're going to go and see the Joker Flurry Ado, which will shoot our reactions for the film at the end, and I'll bring you guys a review on Joker, which has been one of my most anticipated movies. And just to give you guys context, because I know some people are mixed on it, but actually, me and my girlfriend's our first official date, like when our relationship started, was the Joker. So this is not only 5 years for the movie, but it's our 5-year anniversary. So I might grade this movie on a curve. I don't know. But just to get my biases out there, it's kind of got some sentimental value to it. So I'm hoping this movie is good because this was actually the movie that started our relationship. So we've been super excited to go and see the second one. So we'll be doing that this Thursday. And also this Wednesday, I am going to be doing a watch along for the original Joker with Pop Culture PB and hopefully some guests that you guys might know. So if you guys are interested in seeing that, check it out Wednesday night. I'll be doing a watch along for the original Joker, and I'll be seeing Joker 2 Thursday with my lovely lady, and we'll shoot a short for you. We're going to shoot a short going into the theater, and we're going to shoot a short giving you our thoughts together on how we felt about the movie. Anyways, thank you everybody for watching. Hit that like, share, subscribe. Let me know in the bottom, are you excited for Terrifier 3? What are you expecting? And when the movie comes out, then I will give you guys a spoiler breakdown because I can't really talk about the scenes that are in the movie. But once it comes out, I'll do a spoiler breakdown and I'll break down some scenes and some kills that I liked in the film. But give my thought, or give me your thoughts below. What's your favorite movie? Are you excited for the new Terrifier? Which of the two do you like? Do you like Terrifier 1, Terrifier 2? Do you like them both? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you, everybody. And as always, remember, there is only one rule here in the Phantom Zone. Kneel before General Zod.